Christine, welcome to CIO Straight Talk Live. Glad to have you here today. Christine Dawkins is from Bank of Montreal, or BMO, and is the head of their customer experience management program. You can correct me on the proper name there. But tell me, first of all, what brought you to this event today and what you will take away from it when you leave.
Thanks. Customer experience is a huge strategy position for a BMO, so it's something that I was very interested in hearing what the other speakers have and the research that's been done so far since we've been in the space for probably about 10 years at the bank, but there's always more to learn, and the landscape is changing so quickly that more data is always better. I mean, the more information, the more research that we have, the better we can build our strategies and get where we need to be, which is our goal is to be the bank that defines a great customer experience. It's not just making customer experience a goal, it's actually part of our strategy, it's part of our growth strategy within the bank, and that's really where we're going, and this was, I thought, a key place to learn some new things about customer experience.
Tell me, what is success that comes to mind of your attempts of the bank's attempts in this area under your tenure? A program or a step forward that has been particularly valuable, either in terms of branding of the bank or in terms of some sort of return on investment?
I think two big programs that I worked on at the bank, two big ones that actually started probably about 5-6 years ago. One called Customer Connect, which is funny because that was the name of our session today. But Customer Connect was actually when we changed the whole retail channel to create an application, so it was a very technology-driven piece that you could actually share as a relationship application with your customer. So face-to-face, you could actually show someone a screen or show someone a laptop and show them their holdings, show them where they could move things around and how they could grow with certain investments and so on, as an interactive application, where before our retail teller kind of application was kind of behind I'll call it the gate, that is nothing that you shared with a customer. It wasn't a relationship, it wasn't a shared experience, it was a one-sided kind of conversation. So the Customer Connect platform really changed that relationship, that changed that conversation completely, and that was a big change for the front line, for the retail line, and that really helped build relationships that they hadn't really gone there before. They hadn't had the tools to go there before, but now we'd actually created a tool that they could actually use to build those relationships. So that was one big one, and another one I'll talk about that we did actually within the technology group ourselves. Before we had the strategy for customer experience, we had a program that we created through the technology ranks called Customer Value Management, and we actually sold it to our business. Because in technology we have a lot of data, we collect data for everything, and we found that we had so much data on customers that we thought would be valuable to the business, and we could show them what customer holdings they had, what we thought could be the next thing that you could offer a customer based on what they already had, and it was good for, we thought, for marketing and to have a unique customer experience. So we actually put that through the technology ranks and sold it to the business as a program that they should look at, and they thought we were crazy at the time because they always thought that next new product was going to be the next great thing that everybody was going to go for, and people didn't really, it didn't really matter what we knew about the customer at the time. That just wasn't an idea that had really hit, but it became something that was really successful, and we actually built out our first kind of lead idea within the retail branch to offer a customer something based on their holdings that they already had, and that was a very new concept at the time, so that was exciting.
As you're speaking, I'm thinking about how banking traditionally was about relationships, and you mentioned, I think, during the session, in a B2B context, that maybe still has almost a primary role. But even for an individual depositor, the relationship with a bank has traditionally, or with a banker, has been a central part of that customer experience. Obviously, there's this other stream of the things you can do with technology to enhance that experience. Talk about how those two interrelate, or if there is any sort of intersection of the human relationship element of it and the technology element?
I think the human relationship piece is still very key because at any time you can go into a branch, a customer will go into a branch and expect to have that one-to-one relationship. You expect to have that financial advisor or teller or whomever it is that you're speaking to at a bank understand you and know you and have that relationship with you. Now with all the new digital channels that we have, that's also being expected on different platforms. So we have a mobile device where people are offered a service. The expectations are completely different than they would be if they were walking into a bank, but we still have to figure out how to make that a good experience for the customer, a great experience for the customer. If we're offering something, it has to be something that they can get right away. Like it's the immediate response that's now expected that I think has changed. Where you would probably evolve a relationship in a branch over a period of time. Now that relationship or now that customer experience is an instant thing, and if it's not great the first time, it's so easy now for someone to just go click on another site, click to another bank, and off they go, starting a new relationship somewhere else because you didn't meet their expectations on customer experience.
In a way, technology that isn't working then can hijack or sabotage that human relationship, which you also want to build. One last question, because and it's something you and I were talking about earlier, is one of the things we talk about, one thinks about with customer experience in a bank is how do we avoid foul-ups, basically, and how do we make sure that they're take what can be a negative experience and bring it up to, you use the word mediocre, but I would say even not such a kind of a negative sounding word as normal experience. But the Bank of Montreal aspires to more than that from your own description of your mission statement. Talk a little bit about that, bringing things up to a norm and then taking things from the norm to something that's superlative in the context of what you folks are trying to do at BMO.
I think we have tried to make the customer kind of centric to everything that we do. So we're not, when a customer comes in the door, it's not to make a sale. It is to build a relationship. It is to ensure that they're there and that they are not only satisfied, but will actually go out and talk to somebody else about that conversation that they had, that experience they had. And no one's going to talk about it unless it was a great thing. If it was a mediocre, okay kind of thing, you're going to forget about it in 5 minutes. It's not something you're going to go to your colleagues, to your family, to your Twitter account to share with everybody that you had. Wow, I went to BMO today and it was unbelievable how they treated me. They knew exactly what I was looking for. It was not an issue. It was so fast, so quick. And they want that type of experience no matter how they come into the bank. Mobile, same thing. Online banking, the same thing. They need to have that wow experience in order for it to make a difference. If it's not a wow, then you might as well not even have tried to have that experience because it's not going to make any difference. It's not going to get you to great. It's going to keep you at mediocre and okay, which is not going to differentiate you from everybody else in the industry.
That's a terrific way to distinguish what you are trying to do, and that is to create a wow experience rather than simply a good one. Christine, thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.